Dear friends, I hope you all are healthy, blessed, positive, taking good care of yourselves and your loved ones and all the needy people around you, not only the people but also the birds and animals around you. I also hope that you are maintaining social distancing and practicing all the necessary personal hygiene that is important in these times when a deadly COVID is ravaging nations across the globe. In these times of dark despair and suffering and death, our country is doing a pretty good job. In this context, I would like you to take the call given by our Honorable Prime Minister Adarniya Narendra Modijee day before yesterday very, very seriously. What Modijee said was that all of us should come out in our balconies, maintaining social distance of course, or outdoors, and hold a symbolic piece of light, be it a diya, a candle, a torch, or even the flashlights of your mobile phones. And for 9 minutes, take a pledge of health, healing, and a fight to resolve against this dark coronavirus. So what he did was he invoked the spirit of the Vedic Sanatan culture, the culture that imbibes within itself the perennious Sanatan philosophy and its basic precept of Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya, from darkness to light. And I request all of you, I appeal from the bottom of my heart that we must take it very seriously. When he made this appeal, I saw several reactions on social media. So most of them supported the Prime Minister's call, but a few were also ridiculing him, were very apprehensive. Of course, there is a dimension of the medical staff, medical workers, and of course that those people are working with day in, day out with their hearts and their bodies and everything they've got, struggling against this deadly disaster. But we must understand that what the Prime Minister is trying to do here is nothing short of a very scientific approach that we as a country used to live in. He's appealing to this scientific approach of meditative living. In our country, ages ago, meditation was not an act that had to be done once a day. It was so entwined with the mundane. It was like a marriage of sense and soul, as Kendall says. It was so in tune with our daily that you could not separate meditation with living. We practiced meditative living. What he's trying to say is very scientific, and I would like to give you a couple of examples to prove my point here. And in this process, take his call very seriously. When I started my journey, and I won't call myself as an expert on meditation, I'm still a practitioner of various schools of meditation. When I started my journey, I noticed something very peculiar. That when I used to go into any center, I started with Vipassana, I've done Gayatri Sadhana, Pranic healing, and several other methods of meditation. So when I started, I noticed something, that when I used to be in a Vipassana center, it was very easy to sit for hours, what we used to call as Adhishtan. It was very easy. But when we came back to our worlds, places of our residence, it was extremely difficult just to sit for even 20 minutes. Why? And our gurus at Vipassana centers used to tell us that it is very easy for you to practice here, so keep practicing. I never really understood why that was the case. As I continued meditating, I came across the writings of one of the most brilliant scientific minds of our times, Rupert Sheldrake. His bestseller, The Science Delusion, is something that I would suggest all of you to read. How it challenges the orthodoxy in the current scientific arena, and how for a lot of people it is one of the best books written on science. Rupert Sheldrake talks about a morphic field. What is a morphic field? A morphic field is a field of energy created by resonance. Now, how is it important here? So Rupert Sheldrake talks about that all consciousnesses have a form, and every form has a resonance, and in this context, the vibrational entities or the entities of matter, because we can't separate them. That's the philosophy, that's the main precept of quantum physics. Matter, vibration cannot be separated. The world is also vibrational and it is also matter. So each and every form of consciousness creates a field around it that is called resonance. Now that resonance is not only physical, is not only limited to physical form, but to every thought, to every intent, to every behavior, to every collective. And all these resonance, when they vibrate in a sense of sympathy with each other, they intensify the morphic fields. So what happens is that if we have a common sympathetic harmonized vibration, it not only generates that vibration but also amplifies it. This is the basic principle of Rupert Sheldrake. And if you have noticed that tomorrow is a very important day, if you go online on Google, you will find world over, a lot of schools of meditations are urging to come together and meditate tomorrow. So what Adharaniya Narendra Modijee is trying to do is he's trying to create a morphic field of positivity, of healing, and of a battle that we have to win. The battle of light against darkness. And he wants us to create a field of positivity, of victory against the forces of darkness. In this case, against the forces of Corona. So we must take this very seriously. Secondly, I would also like to tap in the science of neuroscience here. Why? And I would like to quote one particular scientist, Candace B. Burt, and her book called The Molecules of Emotions, another bestseller. Candace, in this magnum opus of neuroscience, mentions that when we are engulfed by negative emotions, by grosser vibrations, our brain, and I must say this, that to modern followers of neuroscience, especially the Eastern philosophies, we don't separate mind and body. We call it as one entity, body, mind, or mind, body. It's a web of interconnectedness, and you cannot know if some alteration happens in the body, how it will affect the brain or the mind, and how the mind influences the body. It's a very delicate system, so it must be holistically treated as one entity. So Candace B. Burt talks about how when you are in grosser vibrations, in negative vibrations of say depression, of stress, of anxiety that pull you down, your immune system, it reacts to it. It starts producing antibodies that attack your brain receptors. Now that is disastrous and counterproductive in these times, because we all know that there is no cure for Corona. The only cure is our own body, our own immune system. So it is very important that all of us come together tomorrow and create this morphic resonance field of healing, of positivity, which will also instill positivity within us. What it will do is it will stop these antibodies, it will allow the production of antibodies which will actually close the receptors that the virus will try to bind, as was quoted by Dr. K.K. Agarwal, one of the key scientists of the Indian Medical Association. Also notably, this philosophy of caring for the other is beautifully analyzed in the Buddhist tradition as the metta bhav, or what the Vipassana practitioners must be knowing about, is given to them on the last day of their camps, known as the Maitri Sadhana. It is a kind of sadhana in which we meditate for the entire existence around us. This is a very, very important form of meditation. And this is what the Prime Minister appealed yesterday, that when you hold that light in your hand, actually you hold that light inside you and you think about the faces of 1.3 billion Indians. This is the spirit of the Metta Bhavana, the Maitri Sadhana from the great Buddhist tradition of this country. Secondly, he also appealed from what I would say from the Yoga Vasishtha had said about the collective consciousness, that collective consciousness is God. So he also appealed, Janta Janardhan Hi Ishwar Hai. These were his words. So this culmination that he gave in a very short speech of Buddhism, of science, of experiential, decantative, Sanatan Dharma, and its wisdom, and of tangible scientific evidence, we must respond to it. We must not just think of this act that we have to perform tomorrow of holding a vessel of light in our hands as just tokenism, but we must actually take this opportunity and these moments as an opportunity to go inside us, bring light within us, and with that light just try to build a morphic field of positivity, of healing. And I can guarantee you, even if 5% of Indians can do this, go within with the meditative concept, it will be a masterstroke against this battle, in this battle against Corona. So please, friends, take this call very seriously, and please, please, please don't break the norm of medical science either. Don't make it a festival like Diwali. Please go within. Please remember that while you're doing it on your doors, on your balconies, don't break this precautionary measure of social distancing. Maintain social distancing, maintain personal hygiene, but try using the forces, the vibrations that we all have, the resonance that comes with this form of consciousness. Let's try and build up a morphic field tomorrow with our meditative wisdom and defeat this disease. Thank you.